Hey, everybody, joining you live here on YouTube. Like to say hi to those joining us on X as well. We are in BMO Stadium. It's a year-end festivities for the club, season-ending stuff. You get the idea. And we're here, we're inside the vaults at the Director's Lounge. So bear with us as we bring you all of the reaction from the Concacaf Champions Cup, no longer the Concacaf Champions League. We know LAFC's opponent. We know the path to hopefully lifting a trophy, which LAFC have come close on 2 occasions. We have a cracking show. We'll show you the full bracket. We're also joined by Ryan Hollingshead. I am Max Bretos. Our internet, not the greatest, so buckle down, but we'll get all the good information here. We're going to go through some key components here. We'll let you know the matchup. Let's actually show you the matchup right now. We all saw it together. And I know some people are like, we're already scheduling a trip to the Dominican Republic, or Honduras, or Guatemala. Well, how about Commerce City, Colorado? So Colorado Rapids, a team LAFC knows very well. Good to see you. Hey, feel free to leave a comment. Great to see everyone joining us on here. I love you guys. The Colorado Rapids. So that will be the opening matchup. Now, there were 10 teams from MLS in the 27 teams of this draw. So how that happened, you get a Canadian champion, which is the Vancouver Whitecaps. And then you got all the 3 teams from the Leagues Cup were all MLS. So there's 6 teams from Mexico, but there's 10 from MLS. So the possibility of LAFC drawing a team from MLS was somewhat likely, and they did. So quick thoughts about that matchup. You're going to have to go home and away. The first leg will be in Colorado, as they're the lower seed. It's going to be early February. It's going to be cold. It's going to be messy. You can already think about that Real Salt Lake game from last year. So LAFC is going to, that's going to be the kickoff to their season. As for the Rapids, get that under wraps and then find a way to take care of business in the second leg. So the Colorado Rapids is the opponent. There were 10 teams. I think maybe the most appealing one would have been Saprissa of Costa Rica, but there was teams from all over Central America. There was a team from Haiti. So we could have gone anywhere, but we're going to Colorado. But bear with us because this tournament, it's about getting to the end. This is a decent matchup. LAFC have had success against the Rapids over the years, a team they played in the Leagues Cup and beat pretty handily. So they are going to move forward. Again, like to see everyone on here as we will show you the bracket. And keep in mind, there are 5 buys. So if we look at the buys, the teams that were seeded, and LAFC didn't win MLS Cup or didn't have one of the good coefficients of Concacaf coming in here. So the teams that go through, the top 5 teams: Columbus Crew, Club America, LA Galaxy, who just won MLS Cup, Alajuelense, and Cavalier of Jamaica. They all get buys into the round of 16. The other 22 teams have to play themselves through, including LAFC. So if LAFC is able to get past the Rapids, we believe they will, you will see their next matchup will be the Columbus Crew, home and away in the next matchup. And we all know the Columbus Crew intimately, having lost to them in MLS Cup 2023 and having lost in the Leagues Cup final this time around. If we project a little further, if LAFC are to get through Columbus Crew, you would think there could be a matchup there against Lionel Messi and Inter Miami, who would be the favorites to get by Sporting Kansas City and Cavalier FC of Jamaica. Inter Miami, we've heard from Jorge Mas, their owner. He has said, I see you, Edgar. You wanted to play a Canadian team. I thought we were going to get Forge FC, but it wasn't the case. But Inter Miami, Jorge Mas, their owner, says they are going to go after some players. Some big names have been mentioned. You would think they make to the quarterfinal. The question is, can LAFC get by the Crew? Now, hypothetically, if LAFC can make a quarterfinal and play Inter Miami, in the semifinals, this is where they could possibly meet a Liga MX team. You would think the favorite is Monterrey, even though they don't have a bye. And the second favorite is Pumas, who made a final there in 2020, I believe, and losing to the Seattle Sounders. All the big Liga MX teams are on the other side of the bracket: Chivas, Club America, Cruz Azul, and Tigres. So it is MLS heavy. And I know people want, it's an international tournament. You want to have international competition. It didn't quite fall that way. You're going to have to muscle through the rapids, but the payoff is the key. If they can get, and look, Columbus Crew, LAFC, if that's the matchup, that is going to get people hyped on the neutral side. So it's got history that we have seen in real time. So that's going to be a very interesting, that will be one of the premier round of 16 matchups. Hopefully it happens. We're confident it will. And then we'll see where it goes. But this is not like the tournament we had in 2020, where all we faced were Liga MX teams. Elliot, I would think so too. I think CONCACAF should have an apparatus in place where if an MLS team, because there's so many, draws an MLS team in the first round, then you move that team to the next pod, and then you avoid league versus league. I think that's a smart way. Maybe a draw like this is what allows it to happen. And Eddie, don't worry, you might have a cool place to travel. Maybe not Colorado in February, but that's going to be something to behold, and we'll see where it goes on. And look, Inter Miami, LAFC quarterfinal matchup. We saw what happened when Inter Miami was in this building last year. It was phenomenal. So there's some good things, but LAFC has to navigate through this tournament. So there is the bracket. Fill them out, read it and weep. Have a competition. I'm sure we'll get it going, and stay tuned to all the LAFC channels for all the latest. Let's take a look at some key dates. And again, we're going to have Ryan Hollingshead join us here, get his reaction. He was in that Champions Cup tournament team in 2023. So the round one will fall, but we don't have a date yet. February 4th through February 27th, the two games. First leg in Commerce City, Colorado. Second leg here in BMO will fall in place there. But come out. It's the first game of the season. Make sure you're here and make this place loud. Round of 16 will come up just a few weeks after. First leg, March 4th, 6th, March 11th, 13th for the second leg. So this tournament comes at you very fast. The quarterfinals will be the first 2 weeks of April. And that's where hopefully we could see an LAFC Inter Miami matchup. The semifinals at the end of April, all the way into May 1st. Hopefully that's LAFC Monterrey. And then the final June 1st. So this tournament is a sprint. There's a lot of tournaments going on. 2025 is loaded with the Club World Cup, with the Gold Cup, and we're 1 year away from the World Cup. So a lot of cool stuff there for you to look forward to, and you could project. I think LAFC is going to be viewed as one of the favorites in this tournament, even though, as I said, it is a loaded tournament. This is the best contingent of MLS teams I have ever seen, because you have Inter Miami, Columbus, Cincinnati, LAFC, LA Galaxy, you have Seattle Sounders, those six. Usually when this tournament rolls around, like LAFC wasn't in it last year. When these teams, or this year they weren't in it. When many times the best teams aren't in this competition. You can't say that. And I think this is a year where MLS is favored to win the tournament because they just have the edge numbers wise. You still have a very good contingent from Liga MX, and we'll see what happens there. That's going to be a great tournament. So there you have the key dates. You have everything in your place. We're going to wait on Ryan here. We're working on our connection service, but we'll I have my sturdy assistant in here, Sarah Takata. She is plugging away very diligently. But any thoughts, any questions anyone would have, happy to answer them as we look forward to. Remember, LAFC have been in this competition twice, and they have reached the final on both occasions. And that certainly is frustrating because you don't lift the trophy. And in 2020, they could not have been any closer. 2023, it got away in the final. But even that, man, and by the way, anyone who was Juan Vargas, you know what I want for Christmas? I want you to work for me, man. You're the king of. We'll have to clean up some of the animations and so forth, but we will see about that. Yen says, which games do we host? We will host the second leg against Colorado, but the Columbus round we would host the first leg, I believe. So they are the higher seed. So LAFC will be looking up at a lot of teams. This is not like 2023 where they were the top seed, and they certainly fell through that all the way. Okay, we have Ryan with us. So he's going to join us here in a moment, get his thoughts. Ryan, you look like you're very pensive thinking about the bracket. What your reaction? I mean, what are the players? The players obviously want an adventure, something exciting, a team you haven't faced, but you get the Rapids.
Yeah, well, CONCACAF is always an adventure. You never know what you're going to get with some of these places, some of these stadiums. So, getting Colorado, knowing what you're going to find, knowing the field, obviously knowing the opponent, there's something nice about that. We know what to expect. So, I think anytime we can face MLS competition, we know what we're going to get. So that's exciting for us. I like the draw.
You're Sacramento guy, LA guy, played in Dallas. Do you have a heavy coat for February game in Colorado?
That's true. I didn't think about the weather situation that we'll face there. It's gonna be obviously always hard because of the altitude, the mile high city. Always hard now because of the weather. Hopefully not another Salt Lake snow game.
What is you part of this competition in 2023? What were your fondest memories of that run? Because it was an epic run, and that final obviously was something to behold. As I was telling our viewers here, just to be part of that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's always so many big moments in a run like that. I think oftentimes it's the earlier rounds that people don't think of being difficult, like going to Alajuelense in Costa Rica and having to go play there in front of a crowd there in a difficult environment, hard travel. Those are tough environments to go play in and win in and get results in. So that's part of the joy of CONCACAF, though, right? Is you get to experience countries and cultures and a different style of football that you just don't see in the MLS as often. And so, whether that means there's a chain link fence around the entire stadium holding fans out of the field, or bumpy fields or difficult conditions, it's always hard to play in this CONCACAF tournament, which is why when we made that run in 2023, it meant so much more to be able to overcome those obstacles and get to where we got, and obviously fell short in the final, which is a bummer, but hopefully a chance to redeem that this year.
But you're also, from what I'm hearing you say, you prefer to be the Colorado because it's something you know. Because if it was there's a team from Haiti, you would have had to go to who knows where you would have gone, or the Dominican Republic. The unknown is obviously something you have to be a little guarded about.
Yeah, 100%. It's so hard to say, what the field conditions are going to be. It's so hard to travel to these countries and get the right just preparation to be ready to play the game. And so, um at a club like LAFC, we've now been a part of these CONCACAF competitions often enough where it's become more of a rhythm here. And so we've gotten more used to it, but it's difficult. And if you're not used to those rhythms, going and playing in these countries can be very difficult. So the thing I like about Colorado is it's going to be a known opponent. We know what to get. We've played there, dozens of times. And I think I've played there, golly, too many times now to count. So the known factor is good, and being able to prepare the right way and know what we're gonna get is a good thing to have.
You don't have to answer this, but I will say Colorado probably saw that draw and they're like, anyhow, it is what it is. But best of luck. I mean, you got to get ready. This season start. The season just ended, but the new season's right around the corner. You got to go for a
Yeah,
run.
I tell you what, yeah, people don't know the work that we put in the off season. It's hard to it's already a quick off season in that like 6 to 7 week off season timeline. But then on top of that, because our sport is so physically demanding, we don't stop, man. We keep on grinding. It's nice being able to run around the neighborhood though, and do some different workouts and not have to be on the field every day. Kind of get that mental recovery as well. But I know the guys are putting in work and getting ready to go. Champions League is going to be, or Champions Cup now is going to be even earlier than the regular season, so we'll have to be ready that much earlier as well.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, Ryan. You don't have to answer this last question because I know you guys don't look ahead, but blink twice if you'd love to have another shot at the Columbus Crew.
Absolutely. We've
One.
got to redeem ourselves with these guys. We'll be happy to see them again.
All right. All right. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate. We'll see you very soon. I know you got to get ready for the new season. At least you now know who the first opponent up is early February.
Awesome. Thanks, Max.
Thanks, man. The one and only Ryan Hollingshead joining us here. We'll wrap it all up here. Juan, I guess the final thought, what I would love for you to work for me, because your stuff online is hilarious. I love it. Excellent. Thanks for everyone who joined us. Again, the opponent for LAFC Colorado Rapids, 2 legs, early February at their place, second leg, TBD. The winner will face the Columbus Crew in the round of 16, and we are off and running. So enjoy the run. We loved it in 2020. We loved it in 2023. We may not have an exotic location to go to for our fans, but you never know. The tournament is long. It's a big tournament, and maybe we'll have the payoff at the end, and we have the squad to make the run. So stay tuned to the LAFC channels, and we'll continue our coverage of all things Concacaf Champions Cup. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2025 for the Concacaf Champions Cup.